Starting.
And we are
Okay.
live!
Now we're live.
Woo! Kumusta
Hello.
internet?
Ox.
Okay, kita.
Ox. Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Paul, and I'm with Jay here, and Dan. Dan is the vice president of Cleversoft, and Jay here, Ginete is the current current CTO. Ah, sorry.
CTO? Terrorist,
Uh,
chief
okay.
terrorist operative.
I should mute the video player. So, all right. So, okay. So, getting back, we have our speaker here. We are happy that Jay give us this opportunity na siya ang una ato na speaker. And Jay is currently the CTO of Mangium Software and uh, also a developer and consultant for MassSpec. And today he'll be giving a talk on um, about JSoup. So, Dan, can you give us a little overview or a little background of our first speaker?
Oh, sure. I think you already mentioned some of those, but yeah, I'm just gonna repeat it, I guess. So yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Jay Ginete is a developer and the CTO of Manjum Software. It was co-founded by.
Okay. And then suddenly cut off. What
Uh-huh.
happened?
I'm back. Okay, so
Okay.
as I've said earlier, Mr. Ginete is a developer and the CTO of Manjum Software. His day job is turning code into working units and doing technology trainings and helping out the networking guys. So that's why we have here as our speaker in tonight's talk. So he is usually trying out various frameworks for Java, C Sharp, PHP, and JavaScript. Jay can also be found tinkering with his Android devices and Arduino boards unless there's an aliens or Navi match. So it's a fanatic, Dota 2 fanatic here. He's also active in helping the developer communities in Kagendaro, sharing what he know, and also mentoring students, programmers, and helping out at events. He has also been known to hang out at video GDG community page. So
Yeah.
to know more about Jay, you can visit his about page. Just go to about .me-j.genetics. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan, for that detailed overview of our speaker. Jay, are you ready
Yeah.
for your talk?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna give you the control right now. So,
I got controls.
all
Take it
right.
away, Jay.
Okay. So how? Okay. So am I broadcasting right now? So hi internet. So thank you guys. Thank you Paul. Thank you Dan for inviting me. So I'll be talking about JSoup. Uh,
Mm, sounds yummy. JSoup.
JSoup. So JSoup. Where is it? Page. So JSoup. Where's my slides? There we go. JSoup. Can you see that? It's basically a parser. It helps you extract data from various formats. Typically, you would extract from HTML and XML documents. It's quite easy to use, and it's you usually access the stuff inside your XML and HTML documents using selectors, which is quite easy to do. In fact, so with that, without further ado, we're gonna go into it, right? Unless there are already questions. Are there any questions?
We're also live with our IRC chat room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me check that out. Okay. Okay, so it's okay. So we're quite okay. So right now you should be looking at my. Is everybody looking at my desk? Should be looking at my NetBeans now screen. So to start off, I'm gonna create a Maven project. Why Maven? Well, Maven is so ITG-X. Let's give it a name. ITG-X soup demo. I'm just gonna keep everything default here and click finish. So you might wonder why would I use an ITG? Why would use why would I use a Maven project? Well, a Maven project has this thing called what do you call this? Dependency manager, which allows us instead of downloading the jar file for the JSoup, we're just gonna use Maven to do it for ourselves. To do it, you just basically declare a dependency area here, and then you basically then add the actual dependency. In this case, it would be dependency. You give it a group name, group ID name. There we go, and it should be org.jsoup like that. Sorry, my keyboard is a little bit sticky. And then we're gonna give it an artifact ID, and then JSoup, right? Artifact, and then the current version. Sorry. The version here is we're gonna use the newest one, and there we go. And we're gonna close that tab. And that's basically how you're gonna. That's how. That's how it's gonna be. And now, when we clean and compile, we do a clean and build. It's basically gonna go to the internet and download our dependency file. You notice I didn't download anything and install it. It just makes it available to our project, which makes it handy also for doing maintenance, because with this stuff, Maven picks out what's needed. We don't have to hunt all over the place looking for our jar files, because if you're even a novice with Java, you always remember that they look for the files, right? The jar file needs another jar file, and so on and so forth. So with that done, we're ready to start with creating our file. So we'll create our main app. I'm just gonna call it main app, our main class. There we go. And then we're just gonna do a public static void main string args, right? Oh, sorry. And then, of course, we're gonna start. I'm gonna show you first on how to parse parse an inline HTML. That should be fairly easy. So I'm gonna start declaring an HTML, simple HTML string that's inline. So HTML, it has a head, right? It has a title. So we're gonna call this first file slash title. We're gonna close it slash head, and then we're gonna of course add a body. And just gonna, of course, we're gonna do the classic one, hello world, like that. Slash p slash body, and then we're gonna close it with slash HTML. Oops, that's too long. We're gonna cut it in half. Let's cut it right there. Okay. Semicolon, right? And then you're gonna basically do document doc JSoup, sorry, JSoup dot parse. And then we're gonna parse the HTML. Now we're gonna use an overloaded version there. And that's basically it. Oh, sorry, I forgot to import it. There we go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is basically a parsed document. So, of course, to do anything, we're gonna basically spit out to see it working. We're basically going to extract the title of this document. So we're gonna do something like string title is equal to doc dot title, and that will basically extract the string. And to say that I'm saying it's true, just print out print line, and then sorry, we're just gonna do title plus the actual title itself, and there we go. And we're gonna run the file. What we have here is basically a part. There we go. Okay. So what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is we basically have parsed an HTML inline HTML file. So to make it a little bit more interesting, I'm gonna add a shall we say a XML file. Okay. So I have prepared one here already, an XML file, basic XML file. Of course, would be a little bit contrived example. I'm just basically gonna copy this and put it at the root of my demo. So that would be the ITG-X soup demo, and this I'm gonna save it right here on this file itself. To do that, I'm gonna go to Files, and then I'm gonna create a new file here, other XML file, like so. I'm just gonna call it sample XML, like so. Okay, next, and then finish. And we're gonna paste our version of that. Okay. So with that, we're just basically going to we're just basically gonna we're gonna comment this out and then start working on our new file, right? So to do that, we're basically gonna do something like document, right? Document again, doc, and just gonna JSoup, and then we're gonna parse the file. In this case, the file will be the new file, sorry, and it should be the, what was the name of the file again? Sample XML.xml. And then we're just gonna pass that. We're just gonna pass it to our parser. In this case, JSoup. Sorry.
Jay.
Yeah.
I think you lost your desktop share.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. Let me do it again. Okay, JSoup. There we go. How's that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's good.
Back.
Okay. So again, JSoup, right? JSoup, the parse, and we're gonna pass in the file, and then we're gonna pass in the format. Usually, since I'm on a Windows 8 system, so it should be UTF-8. This will be the UTF format. And then don't forget, we're gonna import the file system there. So, and then we're basically, oops, sorry. We need to throw an exception clause because we're reading a file, and here we're gonna extract the contents of the XML. So, elements, we're gonna take out the test, since if you can remember, we are basically composed of tests here, test, and inside that, the sibling is a test. And we're gonna do something like doc.select. right? Select, and then we're gonna select all the sibling tests on the inside. Now that would select all the tests, all these three tests inside of it. And then what we're gonna do, okay, what we're gonna do next is basically iterate over this thing. So that should be fairly easy. So element, that's a single element E for the each test, and then we're just basically gonna extract again the test number, for example, in this case, E dot, oh sorry, I forgot to import that again. Okay, I'm getting that. So import that, and then we get element by tag. Element by tag. In this case, we're gonna get the ID, right? Now, if you back to our reference here, if you notice that's we're getting that one, and we're extracting the content. And then, what's the seems to be there? Cannot be converted to a string.
Jay,
Oh, yeah. Lost
I, I think we lost your IDE.
again.
I think we lost your IDE.
How's that? Must be my internet connection or something.
Okay.
Is it better?
It's back. Yeah.
Must be the internet connection or something. But anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in this case, we're gonna again. Remember, I'm gonna strip out. We're gonna extract again the test name. So get elements by tag. And I'm gonna get the, if you can recall, I'm gonna take the name, and then we're gonna extract the text out of that tag, and then last is string that the status, right? Test status is equal to e dot get, again the same element, get elements by tag, and then status, and then we're gonna get again the text, colon. And then the last part here is we're gonna output everything, right? So system.out.println, right? We're just gonna output first. We're gonna output the test ID plus test no, right? And then we're gonna copy that and then paste, and gonna output, and then the test name, right? Test name, and we're gonna output the test status, and then test status, like so. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put here something that separates both of them, so a little bit to make it a little bit clean, and then what? There we have it. So we open the file. Again, to recap, what I'm doing here is basically I'm opening an XML file, this XML file here, and then we're gonna parse it. Yes, and we're gonna take out all the tests. I mean the tests inside here, all the 3 tests, and then we're gonna run this. Sorry.
No.
And then we're gonna run this. There. And then if you can, as you can see, we have basically just extracted all the 3 tests from our XML file, right? And if you notice, it didn't take a lot of code. It's quite short. Although I wouldn't suggest you code like this way, because it would have been better if I have added, let's say, a try-catch statement here, so because we might open a bad file here, a bad path. But since this is only a demo, I should be allowed to do this. Okay, so with that, before I proceed with the next one, are there any questions so far from the crowd? They can see the code. I believe they. Can you see it now? So dark. Okay, so Paul, so are there any questions so far? Not yet. So guys, we're gonna move on. This is my last demo here. To be fair, to be a little bit fast, I'm gonna basically just do a copy paste here because it's quite long. What I'm gonna do is basically do a parse. But can you see it now? Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna paste my stuff here. Okay, there we go. And then we're gonna fix everything.
Jay,
Yeah.
I think you lost your
We're
IDE.
gonna move on to my last demo again.
Yeah, we're looking
To
at
be
the.
fair, to be a
Yep.
little bit fast, I'm gonna basically just do a copy paste here. How's that again?
Still loading.
Okay. Yeah. One question though. Do you think we could parse like a online page,
Yeah,
like a
that's
live
that. That's
live online page?
yeah. That's what I'm gonna do. That's the last thing I'm gonna do this evening in my demo. So
Right.
basically, because it takes a little bit of writing to parse a website. My target here would be the iOS Dito website. Everybody is familiar with iOS Dito. We're basically gonna parse iOS Dito in my demo here.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So in my code, I've created a simple class here with called web parse sample with a single method called parse site, which basically takes in a URL string here. It's not that bad, but you must be aware of the website's structure or DOM structure before you do do a parse. In this case, I'm basically parsing for the ISD2 website where they list a bunch of stuff. In this case, it would be for discussion sake, I'm gonna parse this URL. I'm gonna post it on the page itself. I'm gonna parse that. Parsing this URL. Okay. So to make everybody aware. Now it's quite easy. It's basically once you take the again you take the connect and you get the file and then you get the site and then you basically here I'm gonna parse for the links, the individual links of on the page, the media in this case, those composed of a source attribute, so that will include images, CSS, and JavaScript if there's any JavaScript, imports, a bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna do basically loop everything over once I have it. Right? And then all of this on the bottom is basically just a little bit of housekeeping, simplified system out print line, and a simplified trim to make the output a little bit to look good. Now to use this, I'm just gonna again take this stuff out. I'm just gonna delete that out, and then I'm gonna basically just do uh, web parse, right? Web parse sample. Of course, Paul is not happy with this. He would have preferred that I would have done use Spring here, but yeah, I'm not gonna use Spring for this. parse site. So I'm gonna pass in the URL like so. And just we're not gonna need that. All of these imports here, and we're basically gonna do that. And this one will basically parse everything. Again, we're gonna run the file itself. This will extract the website, right? It takes a while, of course, depending on how fast or how much stuff is inside the website. So there we go. It's scraped, or basically it crawled over the ISD2 website, specifically that URL, and it stripped out looking for images. And apparently, I had images for an HP ProBook, a Folio, an Elite book, a couple of pavilions, basically laptops. And I have a little bit of adverts here. Imports, I got a couple of icons, CSS. Hopefully everybody can see that. And a bunch of links, like so. If you
That seems
notice,
to be
there's
a
all of
pretty
the.
badass. That seems to be a pretty badass scraper library.
You can look at it that way, but I usually what I'm thinking of JSoup is basically I primarily use it to you know I primarily use it to scan, right? I primarily use it to scan my what do you call this? Scan my XML files for work, because we do work with a lot of XML files. From there, of course, you probably can use it for a web crawler. Probably Dan's company can use. Do you crawl websites, Dan? Does your work include crawling websites?
Not really. Not
Not
as of
really.
now. Maybe soon. Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's
probably you're gonna look at JSoup and think of using it for mostly the XML component of it, but I think you can also use it for the other stuff, right? The website crawling stuff.
I think you
So
lost again. I
yeah, I
think you
know.
lost.
I changed. Yeah, I went back and
Okay,
I
I
went.
think.
Yeah. So there we go. I went back and went back to the Hangout, to the Chrome browser.
Mhm.
Where's that Chrome browser? There we go. So so far nobody is asking questions.
maybe you ask them questions.
Yeah. Now, yeah. I shouldn't worry about it too much. But in any case, JSoup again. If you have a project extracting data from XML files, or well-formed XML files, or crawling websites looking for data, then you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's the whole idea here. So, and it's in Java, right?
Yeah,
And it's easy to use.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Paul. So, anyway, thank you guys for having me here.
Alright, the floor is
Hopefully,
open for questions.
yeah. Thank you guys for having me here. Anyway, so hopefully people learn something new. Uh, I will be posting the code for this in a GitHub repo a little bit later, and I'm gonna post it in the ITG-X page,
Yeah.
ITG-X Java page, and then I'm gonna post it in the Google GDG and CDOIT page also. Uh, so Josan, I am already a developer since I have a GitHub account.
That's the main
Good.
requirement of being a developer.
Yeah, that's a requirement. Josan explicitly said that you are not a developer if you don't have a GitHub account. So I'm getting one and I'm using one.
We are a developer now.
Congratulations. Okay, so
So
any
I'm
more questions?
gonna, yeah. So I'm gonna
Okay.
give back the control to Paul. There we
Alright.
go. How do I give up the control here?
Okay. Thank you, Jay, for that wonderful talk. I
Yeah.
hope
Thank you
that
for having me too.
Yes,
yeah,
thank you. Pleasure.
thank you very much.
Very,
Hopefully, in the next coming events, we could invite you someday. And I know you have a lot to share to our people. I mean, to our audience in ITG, and
Next
uh,
time when Aryan does this talk, I'm gonna ask questions.
yeah.
I'm gonna ask questions.
Yeah, because our next topic would be penetration testing. So you guys, for those guys that been wanting and been requesting to have ITG do some talk about hacking stuff, not the bad hacking, but uh, you
very
know,
good.
Is there a bad one? There's a good one also.
yeah. So more most on no. So basically, the next step would be penetration testing and what we can do to improve something on our networks and what's not. So yeah, and thank you, Jay, for this for your talk, and thank you for sharing.
Thank
And
you. Thank you too.
Thank you.
I am welcome.
right. So then, do you have closing remarks?
Right. Before we close this one, so this is our first virtual meetup, and hopefully there will be more meetup coming soon. So as what you said, we're gonna do more of a meetup regarding some hacking on the good side. That's the way. So
Yeah.
um, we'd also like to thank our partners in this talk for making this talk possible. We have GDG, Cagayan de Oro, we have Cleversoft, Manjum Software, Helium TechLogic, Enovus, Astria Software Development, HackLife Pro. Did
Yeah.
you miss
Yeah.
anything there?
You, sorry, Dan. I missed to add Hack Life Pro there, so
Oh,
I'll be updating it right after this call.
yeah, sure. That's our startup. You guys can also check out the startup website that you started.
Startup week.
So HackLife Pro,
Start of
HackLifePro.com.
week.
Yeah, it's coming
Yes,
soon. Right. And also
it's
the
coming
organizers,
soon.
we have Paul Labis, we have Romar Micambalos, Stephen Piana, Josan Astrid, Jay Ginete, John Doblado, and yours truly, Dan Pacquiao. So thank you guys for making this meetup possible.
All right. I guess that's all for this first event, and stay up tuned for the next virtual meetup. So,
Yes.
bye bye.
Right. Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, bye
Bye
bye.
bye.